Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Next Level Her podcast. I'm your girl, Pauline, and this is a space where real journeys, real growth, and real you come to life personally, professionally, and spiritually. And today we're diving into a powerful conversation that could be a true game changer for you, for your life, if you allow it to be. So today we're talking about how shifting your environment can shift your mindset. So if you've been feeling stuck, you've been feeling uninspired, you've been feeling bombarded by everything that's going on in the world, or even a little off course, this episode is definitely for you and might help you out a little bit. So let's get into it. So let's talk about why your environment matters, why it's important. Your environment, and I'm not just talking about like a physical space. It could include what you see, what you hear, what you spend time doing, who you spend time with, and even what you spend time consuming mentally and emotionally. So, when I'm talking about your environment, it could be any of those. Now, studies have shown that your environment can directly impact your mood, productivity, creativity, and even your mental health, which is true. I completely believe that because I feel like I've fallen victim to this. A chaotic environment equals to chaotic mind. The opposite is also true. A peaceful mind, intentional environment promotes clarity, peace, creativity, and joy. When you're at peace, when you're intentional about your environment, it does create clarity, especially peace. And it gives you an opportunity to be creative and it gives you joy. So if you're someone feeling like you're fighting against yourself lately, maybe it's not you. Maybe it's your environment. Let's go deeper. When you think about your environment, the benefits of shifting your environment is key. Some of the benefits of shifting your environment is that we've kind of alluded to it earlier is mental clarity. But when you put yourself in a space that is clear, then your mind becomes clear. You can focus on your goals with more intention and precision. And a good environment also gives you emotional peace. A nurturing environment helps you regulate your emotions when you feel safe and supported by others that surround you. It helps you to think bigger and believe bigger in yourself. So I know for me, it is very important that I'm surrounded by individuals who believe in me, individuals who are going to challenge me and push me, because that is going to help me to get to the next level me. That is going to help me to think bigger, to believe bigger. I always say when I meet somebody who is just so negative or somebody who's just so racist towards another group, I'm like, wow, this person hasn't really been exposed to much. Because when you have the opportunity to go to different places, you put yourself in different environments. I don't know about y'all, but I get so in awe by God's creation, whether it's the people, the places, the culture, everything, all his creation is just so beautiful to me. And so sometimes when I feel like people have a certain mindset that is of the negative nature, I just think of lack of exposure, or they've been in a particular environment that hasn't shown them anything different. They've been in this one particular environment that literally hasn't changed, remained the same. So they kept with that mindset. And it's unfortunate because there's so much out there. Just being in different environments is just so empowering. It is just beautiful because, baby, you truly see God's creation come to life even more. Okay. Being in a great environment gives you inspiration. New environment sparks new ideas. A simple change like working from a new coffee shop or visiting a museum or rearranging your office can unlock creativity, right? So for me, Sometimes when I'm feeling low, I like to go on a walk or I'll sit out on my deck. Just being in the sun, feeling the wind just caress your skin. It is just such a beautiful thing. When I'm in that space, it just puts me in a grateful mindset. Grateful for everything that I see around me, the sun, the trees. Oh my goodness. One thing I love about traveling, like I alluded to earlier, is just being able to see God's creation. And then I get inspired. It's just really a beautiful thing. And being in a different environment also, it gives you accountability and growth when you're in a great environment. Surrounding yourself with growth minded or like minded people, it challenges you to raise your bar higher. So it challenges you to rise, to be better, to be the next level you. So it is truly important to make sure that you are in an environment that is watering your roots, that is helping you to grow. There's a quote I've heard. It says, "You can't heal in the same environment where you got sick." That is so real because if you are in an environment that is tainted, where it's nothing but negativity, you have to change in order for you to get better. Sometimes when I talk to some people and they're just in a low place, they're just feeling woe is me. Sometimes it's just all I can think about, what is your environment? Because if that's all you can see, if that's all you can feel, all I can think about is what is your environment, and you need to change that environment ASAP. And sometimes you're not always able to change that environment, but there are little things that you can do to help to start working towards having a better environment that is going to help your mindset. And sometimes the only way to move into your next level is to move, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So even if you can't move physically, you can still work on that mental, emotional, and spiritual move for yourself. Y'all know I gotta, bring it back to the word because God's principle always guide real transformation. One scripture that comes to mind is Romans 12:2, that says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." That goes back to what I mentioned earlier. Sometimes you don't have to physically change your environment because, hey, sometimes we're not always able to do that. But you could change your mind. You could work on your mind and just work on renewing it day by day, renewing our mind. So you can start with the environment in your mind. Okay. Renewal doesn't happen accidentally, it's intentional. So sometimes you have to step out of your familiar surroundings, the patterns, the places, even the people, to allow your mind to be truly renewed. You guys know I do locks. I'm a loctician, and I do not watch the news. If I'm watching TV, I am watching uplifting type stuff. I don't watch things that's going to taint my mind. So my clients are always just taken back by me because they're like, "Girl, did you see what happened on the news?" I'm like, "No, I didn't see it." So they're like the people who keep me up to date and gives me the news. But even then, I try not to hear too much of that because it can just be too much mentally. And when I talk to people, I can see why they are in a low place and they're just feeling like they're drowning. And it's because of what we allow in our minds and in our hearts. So I'm very big on protecting what gets into my mind. So I have to be mindful of what I watch. I have to be mindful of what I listen to. I am very particular about the type of music I listen to, the type of information I let in my mind. If it ain't positive, if it ain't growth minded, if it ain't spiritual, if it's not something that's going to help me get to the next level of me, I don't want it. I don't want to do nothing with it. I really focus on just making sure that I am being mindful of my patterns and even people that I let around me. I'm sensitive to people who are in low moments or who are struggling, and I will definitely try to help. However, if time after time, if I'm trying to help and things aren't happening, things aren't turning around for you, I'm going to be there, but I am going to also distance myself because I got to make sure that you are not taking me down with you. I got to make sure that my mind is I'm tainted and that I am not going on a downward spiral because I'm an empath. So it's so easy for me to connect and relate to what people are going through and are feeling. So I got to make sure in the process of helping somebody that I'm not dragged down as well. So if I see that I'm trying to help and it's not helping me or you, I am going to exit left. Not to be mean, but I'll definitely try to point you to the direction that can help you without me going down with the ship, if that makes sense. I hope you guys understand that. Another scripture that's good to think about is in Genesis 12:1 when God told Abram, he said, "Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you." Abraham's transformation and the blessing attached to it didn't happen until he shifted his environment. He had to move away from the familiar to step into the promise. And the same is true for us. Sometimes God is calling you out of an environment that feels safe, but you are secretly stifling yourself by continuing to be in that environment. And sometimes we don't always see it. And sometimes we end up in really poor environments because we've taken our eyes off of Jesus and we've wandered. Our eyes start to wander. And then before you know it, you are in an environment that you do not recognize. You are becoming somebody that you do not recognize. And I strongly believe that if you keep your eyes fixed on Jesus and not the problems in this world that you cannot solve, that you cannot change, but God can. If you keep your eyes fixed on Jesus, you will end up in an environment that is going to help you to flourish. But the moment you take your eyes off of Jesus, it becomes difficult for you to maintain an environment or to even stay in an environment that is going to help you to grow and to become the next level you. I think it's imperative that we fight to keep our eyes fixed on Jesus. Y'all know I got to give y'all a little bit of practical because I know I'm a practical person. So sometimes I'm like, well, okay, this is great and all. How? And I've kind of alluded to some of the practical things that I do to help myself be in an environment that is going to help me to flourish. Some of the things, you can start doing to shift your environment today. For some of you, it might be decluttering your space and not just physical. You could focus on the physical, but also focus on your mind. What do you need to declutter in your mind? What do you need to declutter in your physical space? Sometimes clothes pile up at the end of my bed. And so the other day, I took the time to fold everything. I did all the laundry, and now my room just looked like the items that belongs in it. There's nothing on the floor, and it just feels good. And I'm fighting to stay disciplined and keep things organized and in its place. It's so hard to keep things in its place when you have kids. But I'm like, okay, if I can't do too much with the living room, because baby, you clean this living room 2 seconds later, it's like a tornado went through it. I don't know how these kids can mess up something so quickly, but at least for my room, I can make sure that it's a place of peace, that it's decluttered and that it's nice and organized. So for you, it could be your room. For you, it could be your car. If you spend a lot of time in your car, and it's basically just creating space for new thoughts and new opportunities when you declutter, especially that mind, okay? Curate your circle. I've mentioned this a little bit. Yeah, curate your circle. Audit who you are spending the most time with. Are they helping you? Are they feeding your mind positive things? Are they challenging you? Are they helping you to grow? Are they like-minded? Do they have a growth mindset? If you are someone who just want to stay where you are, you don't desire to grow in any kind of way, it's going to be difficult for me to have you in my circle because I'm so focused on how can I grow spiritually, emotionally. That stuff is important to me. Who are you spending most of your time with? Are others speaking life into you? And are other people draining your energy? It's okay to create distance lovingly, okay? You got to do what you got to do. You don't have to make a big announcement. Just start moving a little differently. And honestly, when you start moving differently, when you start doing things differently, you'll find that you don't have to remove yourself. Other people just remove themselves around you when they're not ready to go on that journey with you. So when you start speaking positively, when you start focusing on spiritual things or growth mindset, people who don't fit in to that will eventually just dwindle away. And they will create that distance for you without you having to do it. Okay? Consume uplifting content. I've mentioned that a little bit. You got to make sure you're consuming uplifting content. What are you watching? The news is not going to help you with that mindset. I was talking to someone the other day and they're telling me they saw a couple of things on the news. Now they just paralyzed and won't do anything because of what they saw on the news. Out of everything that goes on, you're letting these two things paralyze you from moving and taking action. Like, we still have to function, we still have to operate. And so, if you're easily paralyzed by the news, then stay away. Turn that TV off. Listen to gospel music. I love listening to gospel music, Christian music. Listen to great music. Even if it's not gospel, I'm a big country song. I love country music. And a lot of their music is positive. So listen, I love country music. So I listen to country music. I listen to stuff that are, uplifting. So what are you watching? What are you reading? And what are you listening to? I listen to podcasts all the time. It's gotten to the point that I don't even listen to the radio in my car. I don't listen to music in my car because I'm listening to a podcast. So you have to choose things that pour into you spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. Okay? Create growth zones for yourself. Design spaces that inspire you. Maybe it's a cozy prayer corner for some, a vision board wall, or a journal nook. Make intentional places for growth. I have a couple of spaces in my home where I can go and I can call it my growth zone because I'm able to think and breathe in natural air. So one of them is my deck. I love being out there because I feel like God whispers to me all the time when I'm out there. He's just talking to me differently when I'm outside. So that's one of my things. What is it for you? Change your scenery regularly. Work from a different place if you work from home and don't have a lot of interactions with people. So maybe work from a different place if you can. If you can't, make sure after you're done with work that you're going outside to meet people and to connect with people. My goodness, connection is so important. So important. So make sure you are stepping outside of your home if you work from home and don't see people, okay? Take walks in a new park. I've mentioned earlier, I love taking walks because, yes, me and God just be on a whole different level. Take walks. Travel if you can. I told you I love to travel because I love to meet different people. I love to see how people live. And you know what? And when you travel and you meet people in different cultures and you get to experience a different culture, it's a beautiful thing because you realize, man, we're all the same. We have some differences, but overall, we're all the same. So it's just beautiful to me. So anything you can do to create small changes because those small changes can spark massive shifts inside of you. So just remember, you don't have to change everything overnight because you don't want to get overwhelmed. But small, consistent shifts in your environment lead to massive shifts in your mindset. And that's how you can change your mindset as you work on changing your environment mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. Okay? All right, my people. If you are stuck, please listen to me. You are not stuck. You're just ready for a shift. That's it. So if you feel stuck, you're just ready for a shift so you can introduce the current self to the next level you. And that shift is going to have to start with your environment. So you have to focus on your current environment and see how you can shift it a little bit. As you intentionally create spaces, circles, and habits that support your next level, because we're all about the next level, right? You are renewing your mind, aligning with your purpose, and opening the door for God's best for you. And sometimes you have to listen like Abram and go to this other city so you can see what God has for you. I'm not literally telling you to go to another city, but you get what I'm saying, right? So awesome. So I hope this resonate with you guys. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. This was amazing. If this episode blessed you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend who needs to hear this. And remember, becoming the next level her starts with believing that she's already inside you. Okay? She's just waiting for you to create that environment where she can thrive. So create that environment so she can come out and thrive, okay? So until next time, stay growing, stay glowing, and stay becoming the next level you. All right? Talk soon. Bye.